One person transported by ambulance from crash on Rolling Acres Road. Yeah, they're going to have to do something about some of these roads around here because the population is outgrowing the roads. Village of Dunedin resident celebrates after getting his first hole-in-one. Village of Dunedin resident celebrated. Tim Doyle scored the lucky ace on January 31 at hole number 2 at the Bonita Pass Executive Golf Course. Thanks for sending a picture in there, Tim, and congratulations on your hole-in-one. A villager gets 2 holes-in-one within a single week. Dean Mumbleau, M-U-M-B-L-E-A-U, Mumbleau of the village of Sunset Point got the first hole-in-one January 28th at hole number 5 at Heron Executive Golf Course. He scored the second lucky ace on January 31 at hole number 1 at the Redfish Run Executive Golf Course. Congratulations, Dean, times 2. A villager was all smiles after getting his 3rd hole-in-one. Dennis Morey scored his 3rd lucky ace on Monday at 158 yards at hole number 4 at the Bonita Pass Executive Golf Course. He used a 7 hybrid. Congratulations, Dennis, on your hole-in-one. Villager Wayman Barton got his first hole-in-one while golfing recently at the Gray Fox Executive Golf Course. He scored the lucky ace at hole number 9, and yeah, the first one, man, is always the exciting one. I've never had one, and it don't look like I'm ever going to get one because I ain't playing it anymore. I just ain't going to do it. And don't ask me why. I've explained it half a dozen times. If you're watching all my videos like you say you do, then you should already know why. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Waymond. A villager got his first ever hole-in-one while golfing recently at the Virginia 9 at Mallory Hill Country Club. Mike Savage scored the lucky ace at hole number 7 at the championship course. He used a pitching wedge at 119 yards. Congrats, sir, Mike, on your hole-in-one. A Village of Marsh Bend resident got his first hole-in-one on Super Bowl Sunday. Steve Michaels scored the lucky ace at the Lowlands Executive Golf Course. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Steve. You notice all these holes-in-ones this time of year, snowbird season. There's more holes of golf played in the Villages, I believe, than anywhere in the state of Florida, possibly the United States. It's a tremendous amount of golf that's played here. One person transported by ambulance from crash on Rolling Acres Road. Yeah, these roads are being tore up by the population growth around here, and they're working on some of the roads, 27 and 441, which I reported. That's where the tragic death of the worker, where they had to cave in, but it's a 2 or 3 year project. They're widening, they're putting an extra lane on each side. Some of these county roads here are just being trampled to death because they're being used not only by locals, but the village people that live here, especially in the winter months, are using a lot of them roads for shortcuts, to go to a part-time job, to go grocery shopping, to try to get around traffic. And the roads, and Rolling Acres Road is one of the main ones used. They're literally falling apart, and they're hazardous. So they're going to have to do something. A 29-year-old Oxford woman was killed after losing control of her vehicle Tuesday evening on Buena Vista Boulevard in the Villages. The woman was driving a sedan at 5:46 p.m., traveling southbound on Buena Vista Boulevard north of Bailey Trail when she lost control of her vehicle. Her vehicle entered the median and struck a tree. The driver suffered fatal injuries at the scene of the crash. A woman who failed to complete her rehabilitation program after the 2020 drunk driving conviction was taken into custody at her home in the Villages. Shannon Marie Skaggs, 37, was arrested shortly before 1 p.m. Monday at her home in Yarborough Lane in the Callahan Villas in the village of Osceola Hills. Osceola Hills is vastly becoming one of them communities that I'm starting to just say, be very careful if you buy a home there, if you can. It's almost one of the communities that I'd almost say avoid. There's too much trouble in that area, it seems like. I'm always reporting something in Osceola Hills. Kids living with their parents there. They're drunk, they're drugged. I wouldn't want to live anywhere around that. A warrant for Skaggs' arrest had been issued last week. She had been discharged unsuccessfully from a treatment program that was part of her probation. She also submitted a cocaine-positive drug screen on December 6th. Wow. You're brilliant. You really learned your lesson, didn't you? That's why I say these so-called convictions here mean nothing. They got to get tougher with it. Listen up, all you golfers that's coming down here or want to come down here because of the golf. Priority golf memberships in the Villages will no longer cover trail fees at executive golf courses under the proposed agreement. The Amenity Authority Committee on Wednesday reviewed and revised tee time and trail pass services agreement between a developer and the village government. I've talked about this before when people talk about amenities. Some of these things that they think are amenities are not amenities. They're privately owned businesses, and 99.9% of them, if not all of them, are owned by the developer and his companies. The championship courses in the Villages are owned by the developer. The executive courses are supported by amenity fees and owned by the residents. Under the proposed agreement, a resident's purchase of a priority membership from the developer will have no impact on playing executive courses. It's another money grab. If a resident chooses to walk the executive courses rather than use a golf cart, a resident does not have to pay a trail fee. The trail fees are aimed at protecting the golf courses from use by golf carts. Here's another problem that I've reported these problems many times. It's on different properties, different areas of the Villages. It's all over the Villages, and I keep saying renters don't care. People that own property and usually rent them out, especially if it's a company-owned property or a company-run property, they don't care. All they care about is getting it rented out to anybody they can to keep that money flow going. That's it. They don't care how it impacts your life as a retired person or anybody else here. It's a problem. It should be addressed. I don't know how they're going to address it. I don't have a team of attorneys that work for me, but the Villages do. Something needs to be done, and I don't know what. A home in the Villages owned by an Ocala man was the subject of a deed compliance hearing Wednesday afternoon at Savannah Center. The home is located at 1013 Vermont Avenue in the village of Orange Blossom Gardens. I really hate to report this about Orange Blossom. I already said in Silver Lake, there's a problem there. I would avoid that place at all costs if you can afford it. I always throw that in there because I don't know everybody's life circumstances. Orange Blossom Gardens is another older area up there, but it's very nice. It's 99% very well kept, very neat. It's rolling country through there mostly, and it's nice. And then you got this guy. A complaint was received November 23rd by Community Standards regarding tall grass weeds at the property, which is owned by Kenneth Jones of Ocala. Community Standards has attempted to contact Jones, but those efforts have been unsuccessful according to the testimony presented before the Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors. Jones does not reside at the address, and calls placed to him went straight to voicemail, and the voicemail was full. The utilities are active, and the property taxes have been paid. It's a rental, and this guy in Ocala don't care. He's not mowing grass. He don't care. He's not trimming bushes because he doesn't care. He's not going to spend a dime on this property. I don't know how he got this property. He may have inherited it from his grandfather. I don't know. But all I know is if he's got the property, it's his property. He's responsible for it. He's responsible for all deed compliance like anybody else is here. And these people will rent these houses out to drug addicts, sex offenders. They're probably on Section 8. They don't care. That's why he lives in Ocala. To the editor, there has been a boom in the number of houses built in the Villages, but the number of golf courses has not. It used to be the course and amenities were built first, then the houses. We need more courses, especially south of State Road 44. That was sent in by Mike Mankowski, the village of DeSoto. Well, Mike, they'll get them opened up. I can remember a couple years ago, people were complaining about everything down there. And no restaurants, no gas station. We need a grocery store. Well, as time went on, guess what? You have restaurants now. You have a grocery store. You have a temporary gas station. It's been approved to build a 7-Eleven down there. It takes time, man. It takes time. And it takes millions and millions and millions of dollars. And just like I read, the developer owns all the country club. That's money out of his pocket. I know he's got a lot of it, but still, it's money out of his pocket. We can't tell that guy how to build a piece of property that he owns. No more than you can tell Dunkin' Donuts how fast they got to build another restaurant. You just can't do that. You have quite a few executive courses down there. The interesting question to me about that is what's the formula, and I know there is one, of the population size as opposed to how many executive courses for that area? How does that work? I'm just curious, that's all. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just curious. You're getting your stuff down there. Give it time. Homeowner raises alarm about poorly designed roadway in the Villages. I've talked about that 100 times. I'm glad to see somebody's finally jumping on board with me. And I don't know who approves these things. I just got a feeling most people are always pointing their finger to the developer. And in a lot of things, he has nothing to do with that. That's not his department. He sells homes. He sells property. He rents out businesses of the property that he owns in the Villages. That's what he does. I don't agree with a lot of it because I have a different way of looking at it, I think. I don't care how many businesses he owns. God bless him. He's made a success of himself and his family, and that's one thing I will say. He takes care of his family. They all work here. So God bless him for that. But I see a monopoly going on here, and I always thought that was against the law, I think. I don't know. It's just a thought. Homeowners raising the alarm about poorly designed roadways in her neighborhood in the Villages. Rose and Nemeth of 4805 to Clark Loop in the village of DeLuna raised the concerns Thursday morning about in the Community Development District 12 Board of Supervisors. Nemeth works remotely from an office at her home at the intersection of the Clark Loop and Steel Path in the neighborhood behind the Water Lily Recreation Center. Steel Path is a narrow one-way strip of road that encircles an island of trees. The roadway was not designed correctly, she said. Not to sound like a smartass, but how do you know it wasn't designed correctly? Do you have experience with engineering in the road department? I mean, I'm just saying. That's who designs this stuff. She said it was very difficult for vehicles to turn from the Clark Loop onto Steel Path. The stop sign had been struck by a vehicle struggling to make the turn. I can only assume that. We don't really know why that person or who that person was that struck that sign. They make these statements I assume to be true, but I don't know that they were struggling or just not paying attention. There's so many people here that drive vehicles, golf carts, whatever, and they got their cell phone in front of their face going down the road. I don't know what they're doing. This is all the time. I see it 100 times a day, and so far as I know, the person who struck that sign just wasn't paying attention. She promised at closing that the problem would be addressed. She was promised at closing. Surely you're not that silly. People at closing don't have nothing to do with any of this. Come on. Was it in writing? Huh? However, the Villages have stopped returning her calls. The Villages is not responding. Deputy District Manager Carrie Duckett said, the roadway falls under the responsibility of the city of Wildwood. So that's what I thought. You guys are pointing the finger at the developer. He's done washed his hands in DeLuna a long time ago. He's done. He's gone. Now it's a public road. And apparently the city of Wildwood manages those roads. That's your complaint. So the idea of saying a developer and that closing and this and that is all, forget all that. Just forget it. It means nothing right now. You need to go to Wildwood, to the city department probably. I don't know what you're going to have to do. Guarantee you're going to run around the bush. You're going to have to fill out forms. They're going to tell you to supply pictures. They're going to send an engineering company out there to review the area. This is going to be a never-ending process to get anything done now. You know, I reported about a year ago, maybe longer, I'm not sure, about Wildwood Police Department was going to buy a golf cart to be an official vehicle. And I told the little story about me running into a Lady Lake police officer at Spanish Springs 25 years ago when Spanish Springs was the only town square. And I had a little talk with the officer about it. And that's why I was just telling people, these are official police vehicles. And if you think it's a joke, think about it before you do something stupid. The Wildwood Police Department is offering assurance that the new golf cart being acquired by the department won't be used for traffic enforcement on multimodal paths in the Village of Finney area. Yeah. We will see, as they say. News coverage last year of the acquisition of the golf cart prompted numerous inquiries to the police department from residents in the villages south of State Road 44. Villagers expressed concerns that the purpose of the police department's golf cart would be for traffic enforcement on golf cart paths. Truthfully, unless you're sharing a road with cars, that's a city street, according to what I'm just reading here. If you're on a golf cart path that's off to the side, I don't believe, unless there's an accident or something has happened there, I don't believe that the police has any authority over there whatsoever to do anything like that, to issue tickets or anything. I don't believe they have any legal authority there to issue any kind of a moving violation at all. Officer David Perry of the police department appeared Thursday morning before the Community Development Board 12 Board of Supervisors. He provided reassurance that the golf cart is not for traffic enforcement. 2 or 3 years from now, if I'm still reading the news, which I doubt, we'll see what happens here. That's all I'll say. We'll see. Painting of golf cart bridge over U.S. Highway 27 and 441 will impact traffic. I assume they're talking about the golf cart traffic going over the bridge. They're going to paint, I believe, the inside of it. Yeah, and it'll shut down one of the lanes on one side when they're working on one side, and they'll end up shutting down the lane on the other side when they move over there. So yeah, it will impact it, but it don't take them very long to paint that, believe it or not. They'll paint that pretty quick. So just be patient. Know that it's happening. So when you get to the bridge, keep your eyes open, your cell phones down, and watch where you're going. Free tax preparation assistance available at Lady Lake Public Library. They have this time of year, they have quite a bit of free tax preparation assistance. I think AAA does one. I think AA does one. And I'm not sure how many. There's a lot of them around. I see them advertised all the time. So they have a lot of help if you need it. General manager appointed to new hotel under construction near the Villages. Yeah, that's that new hotel straight across 466A from Pinellas Plaza. And what's the name of the hotel? I forget. McKibben Hospitality has announced the appointment of James House as general manager of the Home 2 Suites. Is that the name of it? Home 2 Suites by Hilton Wildwood, The Villages. Upon completion, House will be responsible for overseeing all operations. 96-room hotel under construction on County Road 466A, across from Pinellas Plaza in The Villages. But this is what affects residents here in The Villages a tremendous amount. All these hotels being built around The Villages, that's not all been built yet, but they've been approved by Wildwood Commission. All the apartment complexes around The Villages, has not all built yet, has been approved by the Wildwood Commission. Apartment buildings around The Villages been approved by Lady Lake, because part of The Villages is in Lady Lake. They're all over the place, and all these are going to equate to thousands of more cars, thousands of more people, that they're more than welcome, but to go to our restaurants. I say our restaurants. When I say that, I'm talking about everything inside the bubble. So they can come in, go to our restaurants, they can play golf on our championship courses, they can go to our squares at night, all these kinds of things. Well, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of more people. And then, of course, they have visitors that come down at Christmas time and things like that. And they come to our squares and things. And it's just getting too crowded. And it's almost, not yet, but I'll venture to say it's almost starting to get too crowded for me. They got to get these roads worked on. 301 can be a nightmare in the wintertime, let me tell you. My RV is stored on 301. I go up there, do a little work, and come home. It seems like I'm always done around 5 o'clock or so. I don't know why that works out that way. Worst time in the world to leave there and try to get on 301. It's worse than Indianapolis traffic. But at least Indianapolis, say, had a lot of traffic, but they had the roadways to accommodate that traffic. Here, they don't. Hearing date set for motions to dismiss perjury case involving Sumter County commissioners. Yeah, I still say there's something about that whole scenario that don't smell right to me. Woman in U-Haul with a missing dash says she did not realize that the truck was stolen. A woman in a U-Haul truck with a missing dashboard said she had no idea the vehicle was stolen. Catherine Lynn Carlton, 30, of Cross City, was spotted in the wee hours Tuesday morning getting into a white Chevy U-Haul truck with an Arizona license plate at the Circle K on Highway 441 in Summerfield. A computer check of the license plate number indicated the U-Haul truck was stolen out of St. Petersburg. Carlton claimed she was coming from Dixie County and was picking up a U-Haul for a friend, the report said. She said she had no idea the vehicle was stolen. Good things these crooks down here aren't very smart. Sale reportedly pending at sinkhole damaged home in the Villages. Yeah, I'm going to ramble on here just a little bit so I'll have time to put up all these pictures. Putting up these pictures and things is a real effort here. Sales reported that the pending at a sinkhole damaged home in the Villages, the home located at 1709 2 Southeast 79th McLaren Terrace in the village of Calumet Grove. The sale is pending at $499,900. The home was severely damaged in 2018. At one time, the home was declared uninhabitable and was recommended to be torn down. It was a highly regarded judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County as who used to live there. Barricades of McLaren Terrace blocked access for many months to the two homes deemed uninhabitable after the sinkholes opened up nearly 3 years ago. A report in 2018 indicated that the Morrow house wasn't salvageable and should be torn down. That conclusion came from both Bowen Engineering of Orlando and Adreyev Engineering Incorporated of Oxford, two firms working in conjunction with GeoView, a St. Petersburg-based company that conducted a geological investigation on Morrow's property. They sold the home to a company called We Buy Sick Homes. Here's a lady here that just got out of prison. She robbed her grandmother out of $130,000 after Granny was giving her a place to stay when she got out of prison. And this ungrateful granddaughter embezzled $130,000 out of Grandma's bank account. Why? Because Grandma was dumb enough to give her access to her bank account and gave her also an ATM card. And so what do? I mean, the girl's a thief. She's been in prison. She just got out of prison, and Grandma did it again. She did it again. What's wrong with you, Grandma? What's wrong with all you grandmas that keep doing this with kids that are drug addicts, crooks, thieves, sexual offenders, and you let them move in your house in a retirement community? Are you all crazy? A woman who allegedly drained her grandmother's bank account of more than $100,000 is also facing a charge of aggravated child abuse. These people, it never ends. It just never ends with any of them. Oh goodness. Lewis is also facing a charge of aggravated child abuse in connection with a 2018 incident also at her grandmother's home in the Villages. Grandma, wise up. Tell her to go away. Oh, my Lord. Let me get her mugshot up here. You already seen her regular shots of her recent arrest, and also you can see the remorse in her face on that picture. Here's her mugshot from years ago. I'll get that up there for you. Here's something I've talked about all the time. I even end my news videos with a little bit of a reminder to try to help people to remind them, the people that watch my videos anyway. And here's a picture of the new commander putting out this warning, and I'll read it. It's a short story. It's good. I love these short stories because I can get right to the point. The new commander of the Marion County Sheriff's Office in the Villages is warning a rash of car burglaries. Lieutenant Scott Beard has been named the commander of the South Marion District based at Mulberry Grove in the Villages. This is the third tour of duty in the Villages for the 27-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office. He said he is keeping an eye on a recent string of car burglaries in the Legacy Lane area. Beard said the major problem continues to be unlocked vehicles. And who knows who's breaking into cars? It's probably grandma's grandsons living with them. I don't know that. I just threw that in there. Hey, here's a real winner for you. Hey, grandmas, those of you that like to have your drug addict kids living with you, if it's a girl, here's a potential husband, a potential father for your grandchildren. Take a good look at him. Isn't he adorable? A Fruitland Park man with a criminal history, I'm shocked, has been arrested on a warrant charging him with car theft. Joshua Edwards, 37, of 2905 Arbor Ridge, was booked Tuesday at Lake County Jail in Marion County. Warrants charging him with felony ground theft of motor vehicle and burglary. He was released after posting a $7,000 bond. I wonder who put that up. In 2018, when he was a resident of Lady Lake, Edwards was arrested after he was found with a stun gun, counterfeit money, and drugs after a traffic stop near the Cracker Barrel on U.S. Highway 27 and 441. Last year, Edwards was pulled over for the window tint violation and was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. Another shocker. A check revealed Edwards' driver's license was not valid, and he has 3 previous convictions of driving while license suspended. PWAC members are set to discuss cost overruns at new Brownwood wood shop. Let me give you an opinion about my idea about these wood shops. We only have 2. One's down here at Brownwood. That was a new one. Everybody wanted one, so they put one in. And there's one up there around Spanish Springs. It's actually not in Spanish Springs. It's along, actually, Rolling Acres Road there, but you can see it. And then behind that wood shop is actually one of the Villages storage lots. You can't hardly see it from the road, but it's back there. I think these wood shops are a total waste of money. Totally. Because of the way they're run. And I understand why they do some of the things they do. It's all about liability. You know how us people are in America. We love to sue everybody. But only a handful of people, when you look at the Village as a whole, only a handful of people actually get to use the machinery in these wood shops. These wood shops cost a lot of money to maintain. This one here, if I remember right, I read this report earlier, they need like an additional, after it's built and everything, which was millions of dollars to put the equipment in, millions of dollars to build the building. I don't know if the Villages owns the property or is this a building owned by the developer and he rents it. I don't know. There's always these things on the inside that I don't understand. But this thing is like, they're asking for like another $3 million. Project-wide advisory committee members are set to discuss cost overrun. Mark Cook Builders submitted a bid of $85,934 for the addition of 3 canopies at the wood shop, which opened last year. The good news is that the purchasing staff has been able to negotiate Mark Cook Builders down to $79,899 for the canopies. It is still higher than the original $75,000 estimate. The new $3 million Brownwood facility located across from the Eisenhower Center is a sister facility to the wood shop on Rolling Acres Road and operated by the Villages Woodworking Club. Its members are the only ones who can use the 2 facilities. The club has 1,300 members with another 275 on a waiting list. I think it's a big waste. I just feel like the Villages is paying millions of dollars out of our pockets, our money, to build something for a club, and only a club members can use it. Does that sound like a Villages amenities to you? Oh, here's some happy news. Happy news for those that pull their head out of the sand for a few seconds to hear some happy news. Happy news. The Residents Parade Committee is accepting applications from clubs in the Villages for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. St. Patty's Day Parade is scheduled for Thursday, March 17th, and the entry deadline is February 21. Contact Peggy Carley by email at peggycarley4@gmail.com for a parade application. Hairdresser in the Villages ordered to strap on alcohol monitor after second DUI. A Village of Hadley resident has been arrested on a drunk driving charge. Elizabeth Carol Helsel, 69, who lives at 490 Greenwood Place, was taken into custody on a charge of driving under the influence at 4:09 p.m. Wednesday by the Fruitland Park Police Department. A native New Yorker was booked at the Lake County Jail and released Thursday night after posting a $1,000 bond. In 2010, she had been cited by the Florida Highway Patrol for violating the Move Over Act. Letters to the editor. The simple solution to slowing the traffic on Morris Boulevard is to have the Sheriff's Office patrol and pass out tickets to speeding drivers on a regular basis. That's a guaranteed way of slowing traffic down. That's sent in by Jay Hacker, the Village of Sanibel. Short and sweet and to the point, and I appreciate that, Jay. More than $1 million needed for sinkhole and pipe repairs, as well as the replacement of flood control pumps in the Villages. There have been several unexpected repair costs for depression repairs. That's what they call sinkhole. Depression repair. And stormwater pipe repairs, according to the memo from Budget Director Brandy Cook to the Project Wise Advisory Committee, the PWAC. The estimated depression repairs costs include grout repairs, basin line repairs, geotechnical inspections, at an estimated cost of $824,166. Based on pipe inspections, several emergency stormwater pipe replacements were necessary at a cost of over $200,000. Here's a look at some of the issues. There's a sinkhole at the entrance to the Village of Finney, which is still awaiting an engineering recommendation for its repair. I did not know there was one at Finney, but here you go. The Longleaf Executive Golf Course down in the Village of Finney has experienced a pipe failure which prompted the closure of Hole 1 at the golf course last month. The cost of repair has not yet been determined. There's a depression at the Pimlico Executive Golf Course starter shack. The cost of the repair is $41,360. There has been a pipe failure on Morven Parkway in the Village of Belvedere. The estimated repair is $76,500. $500. A pipe on Noble Way in the village of Bridgeport at Lake Sumter is in need of repair. The price tag is already $6,575. pending additional engineering recommendation. The fiscal year 2021-2022 project-wide committee fund budget will need to be amended in the amount of $1.092 million using available working capital for the depression repairs, flood control pumps rebuild, and stormwater pipe repair costs. And those figures, I almost can guarantee you, will change. A woman with a history of crimes in the Villages has been kicked out of a rehabilitation program due to her lack of respect to staffers. And Christine Aldrin, 38, of Holland, Michigan, is being held without bond at Lake County Jail on a probation violation. The Ohio native spent 11 months in jail in 2016 after using her mother's bank card for nearly $500 in transactions at the Publix at Colony Plaza store. She had also been in possession of heroin in 2015. Aldrin was arrested after stealing a woman's purse at a restaurant in Brownwood. I don't need to go any further, do I? Another one living with mom or grandma, stole her credit card, steal purses in Brownwood, got a drug problem. Come on. Moms, dads, grandma, grandpa, stop it! You're screwing it up for the rest of us. I think I reported this guy a long time ago for something else. His face is really familiar. I've seen so many of these faces, I can't remember them all. A Lake County juror has found a Fruitland Park man guilty of unlawful sexual activity with two young girls. Stephen Joseph Katarski, 52, was found guilty this past week on charges of sexual assault on a victim 12 years old or younger and lewd and lascivious battery. He was arrested in 2020 at his place of employment, Coast to Coast Transmissions in Leesburg, when emergency personnel responded to a report of a suicidal subject. He was placed under the Baker Act and transported to Advent Health Waterman. An investigation revealed that two young girls revealed that Katarski had touched them inappropriately. One of the girls fought him off and slapped him. Katarski later told investigators he needed help. Here's a little story that might clue some people in. I always say, check your deed restrictions. Check them, check them, check them. An 81-year-old villager who said he was unaware of a permitting requirement has won a variance to build a deck on his home to enjoy his remaining years. Andrew Richardson appeared Monday night before the Lady Lake Planning and Zoning Board in his bid to build the deck on his home at 1620 Pinehurst Street in the village of Orange Blossom Gardens. Richardson's plans had been approved by the Architectural Review Committee in the Villages. You catch that? Architectural Review Committee approved his plans, but in his district, that's not all. I thought I was good to go, Richard said. I agree. I would think the same thing. However, his contractor, good on him on telling you that. Good contractor to tell you this, by the way. However, his contractor, Patriot Builders, informed Richardson he also needed to go through the permitting process in the town of Lady Lake. When Richardson did that, it was discovered that the plan for the 10 by 10 foot deck called for the structure to exceed 60% of the impervious surface ratio of the lot. Therefore, he was required to obtain a variance to move ahead with the project. Richardson said he and his wife lost everything in the 2009 stock market crash. However, they worked hard to build up estates sales by Andy and Kathy, a business in the Villages. The couple from Indiana now simply want to sit out on the deck and enjoy sunrises and sunsets, he said. The cost of the deck is only $2,850. Planning and Zoning Board approved the variance. The final decision will rest with the Lady Lake Commission. I'm looking at the home here, and you're going to see pictures of it too. This is the difference between most of Orange Blossom Gardens and Silver Lake. I mean, it's an older home. Who cares? It's all about upkeep, right? And look at this home. Gorgeous little home. Very, very cute. Very nice. I hate the word cute. That's not a man word, but very nice, very well maintained home. I don't know where he wants to put the deck. I don't know the rules, so I'm not going to get into that. But see, in that district, Architectural Review is not the only approval he has to get. Check your district rules. Please, people, do this before you get in trouble. A villager who had a wine glass in her hand was arrested during her dog's veterinarian appointment at Pinellas Plaza. That's where we used to take Maggie. They called a hospital. I'm not saying anything about the staff in there. They've always been good to me and Sue, but it's not a hospital, not even close to a hospital. And both times when Maggie had serious problems, we take her into there for treatments or at least get her stabilized. They couldn't do anything except say, go to Gainesville. That's where the best animal hospital is at. But they call themselves a hospital. I think it's called Buffalo Ridge Hospital. It's not a hospital. Laura Ellen Galinas, 56, who lives in the Austin Villas in the village of Chitty Chatty, was arrested Monday morning at the Buffalo Ridge Animal Hospital at 2474 Bernstead Boulevard. The village public safety department and the Wildwood Police Department responded to the scene where they found Galinas in a maroon GMC sport utility vehicle in the parking lot. While EMC personnel checked her vitals, witnesses said Galinas had been in the veterinary's office with a wine glass in her hand. She said she had stepped over to Roberto's Ristorante, pretty good little Italian restaurant right there, and pizzeria, and had a glass of wine. She declined to participate in field sobriety exercises. When preparing for the breathalyzer test, Galanis was asked how she was feeling. Drunk like I'll blow a .12, she said. She provided breath samples that registered, oh my God, .313 and .303 blood alcohol content. Criminal history check revealed that she had been convicted on a charge of driving under the influence in 2014 in Kansas. Galante was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. She was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. By the way, our next Wednesday Night Live coming up, which is going to be this coming Wednesday, just letting you know, and the guests on the show are going to be solar experts. They install these solar panels on your house nationwide. And so they know what to do and how to do and when to do. Can they answer each and every specific question? Probably not, but they can damn sure give you a good idea about how it's done here in Florida. If you got a question about solar, you got any interest about solar to be installed on your house, and we're going to find out how it all works. Do you get paid for that electricity? And if you do, how does that work? That being said, let me get out of here and say I'll see you on a WNL show. Don't leave your keys in the golf cart!